Gosh, what a few days, 10 days. I mean, a lot to reflect on, really. But yesterday, the pinnacle of it all, and you know, a farewell to do her proud.
Oh yes, absolutely. You see, I've still got the black tie on, and I just feel
although you don't have to.
No, I don't have to.
From midnight.
Period of royal mourning, so the royal family stay in mourning, but the rest of the country doesn't have to.
Indeed not. But I just feel I don't want to let it go just yet.
Yeah.
I don't want to let it go. I am old enough to remember the coronation of Her Majesty the Queen. In fact, I'm old enough to remember just about a world of King George VI on the throne. So, like so many people have said, I measure my own years. I measured my own years. And I'll be very honest with you, why not at this time of the morning? We can say this to each other. I'd begun to get to the point where I thought I may not live long enough to see King Charles III on the throne, you know. I feel reasonably fit. I'm just 16 months older than him, you know, but, you know, he's got people to look after him
yes,
day and night.
well
I have to make an appointment with the GP, and that's jolly difficult these days. So, for me, this is a period I just don't want to quite let it go.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Talking about let it go, was it just me? There was that beautiful moment in St George's Chapel when the coffin was descending into the ground.
Yeah.
And everybody was watching and saying, gosh, what happens next? What happens next? And it goes down, 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 down. And then we cut to the piper.
Yeah.
And then when we came back to the chapel, the coffin was gone. I felt a bit cheated by that.
Wow.
Well, here's the thing. At the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral, I think the instruction must have gone out that we saw the coffin, then there was pictures, the awful pictures we'll all remember of Her Majesty Queen on her own with a mask, standing, nobody with her. That was so heartrending, wasn't it? When we next saw the chapel, the coffin had gone.
Yeah.
And I said, what happened to that? Where did it go? This time, we got not long, they didn't linger on it very long, but just enough to see it descend. And as you say, that's the moment when you think, well, it really is goodbye, man.
But why would they not have continued with that? Why, whatever happens, a hole in the ground and then it's covered up or whatever, why is that considered bad taste? Is that considered lack of privacy for a very public person?
I guess it's a bit of that. I think it's a bit of that, yes. You remember, again, going back to Prince Philip's funeral, that although we saw the pictures of the Queen, there was no dwelling on them. Right. And I think people, quite rightly, at a funeral, particularly of a Queen, particularly somebody who's been on the throne for so long, who is mourning, obviously, seeing her husband taken away for the last time, you know, proper behaviour.
Yeah.
And that's fine, isn't it?
Can we talk about the senior members of the royal family and how they managed to really, to a large extent, have a stiff upper lip yesterday? I mean, I did see one picture of Meghan with water running down her face, tear running down her face. Few images where Prince Charles looks like he's on the verge, Prince Andrew grimacing, and I saw one photo of Princess Charlotte being sort of comforted briefly by her mother. But by and large, you know, given that she was a close member of their family, they managed to hold it together, which is incredible.
Yes, I suppose it is incredible, but, you know, it's what is expected, really, isn't it? I don't think we want a king stumbling along in tears behind the coffin. I've been saying over the last few days, a terribly unenviable situation for him. He's not only had to be in the position of mourning his mother and all the things that will be going through his mind and the sadness and everything else, but he's also got to get started on the new reign as well. And the two jobs are running in parallel. And there were sort of rather odd moments to me, in a way, when he, you know, gets out of his car and talks to everyone and shakes hands and so on and waves.
Being cheered.
Yes, cheered. The new wave. Have you seen the new wave? The Queen was terribly famous for. Well, it was a kind of circular job. Particularly the Queen Mother did that. But this is a proper sort of, hello, really nice to see you. So he's trying to do the two things at once. But stoical and everything else. I don't think anybody would have minded if there had been a tear roll down some cheeks. Meghan is younger and comes from America and so on, and perhaps a slightly different approach, but that's fine.
I must say, the Countess...
And she's an actress. Let's not forget.
Well...
The Countess of Wessex was definitely having a blub, actually, now I think of it. I saw her faffing with some tissues quite a lot.
Well, can I tell you, a story, again, I'm happy to do it in your studio here. A friend of mine, a great friend of mine, was with Sophie Wessex on Thursday afternoon at an event, a civic event, and everything was going terribly smoothly. And then a man appeared out of the and said, "Can I have a word, ma'am?" Whispered something in her ear, and my friend said she will never forget the way Sophie's face went ashen.
She was very close to the Queen.
She was. She always said to be the Queen's favourite. I always take these stories with a bit of a pinch of salt. You know, sometimes it seemed to be Andrew, sometimes it seemed to be Sophie. Who knows? But I think they got on terribly well. Yes,
I was outside.
Terribly well.
I was outside Windsor when Prince Philip passed away, and a number of the royals were coming out of the castle, and she pulled down her window and sort of thanked the press, and she had tears streaming down her face. Then you could tell she really feels it, the loss, and obviously her children very much part.
She's very human. She's very human, is Sophie. There's no, and I pay tribute to her. I think, you know, people. Her husband, the Prince Edward, tends to get a bit forgotten in all of this. Another person who I have found in recent years, you know, not easygoing, that's quite the wrong word, but he's approachable and friendly and so on. So, you know, these people have done a terrific
Their
part
children, I thought, have come out of this well. Both their children, I can't remember what the names, Lady...
Louise and Viscount Seven, James.
Yeah, James. And he was very dignified,
very
guarding
young.
the coffin and things,
very young.
doing all of that.